as Eli Manning stays on his feet. It is caught by
Tyree. All right, this is Catch the Moment podcast. Your host, David Tyree, back in the lab with the lovely. And you know what? Just getting life done. We're finding some interesting ways to talk about some, I would say, some raw topics in light of life, business, entrepreneurship, marriage. And, you know, who better to talk with it than the one I'm doing life with? Hey, honey.
Hi, sweetie.
How you doing?
I'm tired.
You tired? All right, so we'll keep it brief.
Tired and hungry, actually.
You hungry too? I'm hungry too.
I bet you are.
Hey, don't interrupt. No interruptions here. If we're talking about hunger, we're going to talk about everybody eating. All right, so I guess today we could talk briefly a little bit about our State of the Union, man, like real life, real business together.
Yes.
It's 2023. I don't know when we'll launch this episode, but we just launched the Catch Camp. We've been traveling all over the place. We still got 7 kids. We still got a brick and mortar business in Morristown, New Jersey, Clean Juice Morristown,
And Tayon is gone.
Man, listen,
We
y'all.
didn't get him on. We were supposed to get him.
We're supposed to get my son, Tayon William Robert Tyree. He'll be graduating from Air Force boot camp in a few weeks at the end of March here.
End of March.
We got a lot of stuff going on. Y'all pray for the Tyree. It's
Lots
rough
of
out here.
amazing changes.
Yeah, lots of amazing changes.
And a lot of new. So how did you think the Catch Camp went?
Catch Camp was pretty amazing.
I didn't have as much fun as I wanted to have.
That's usually your testimony.
I know.
That's usually your story.
I wanted to, I just didn't see the field.
I try.
You try. What were you going to try? See, this is the stuff we're talking about. We're working together, and he's telling me that he tries to tell me what? Somebody has to do all the other stuff. Who else is going to do it, guys? Okay, that's why I wasn't on the field. It wasn't because I was looking at the field. It wasn't because I was a spectator.
Yeah. Sometimes. We launched the Catch Camp in Arizona the weekend before Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
Big shout out to Apollo High School.
Yes.
Prince and Mukamura, all our advocates. And it's going to be a lot more rolling out in relation to how you can continue to support the Catch Camps. Looking to bring it to New Jersey this summer, right? We'll get this episode out just to make sure that everybody gets a chance to, be up to date. But I was really excited. We had an amazing turnout. Great kids in Arizona. Did ball in the morning. Mm-hmm. And, man, we had Maul Davis, one of the best massage stretch therapists in the world, leading works with.
He was so good with the kids.
Amazing.
He was really, really good with the kids.
And Chef Nick out there in Arizona, first African-American owned wine bar, I believe, in Tucson. We just had some obviously Nathan Morrell, owner of Fraction.
Let's go.
Sponsor, big, just like the leadership side was amazing. The career side was amazing. Kids were impacted. So that was good. But then you come back, let's talk about it. We come back into life, right?
Yes.
Let
me tell them. So what happened was.
Well, see what happened
was it after we got back? Did I hire, or before I left? No, before you left. Before I left.
Before we left.
Before I left, I hired a GM. That was my first time hiring a GM because I have to get out of the store, basically, so that I can do other things that we have to do. Mm-hmm. And everything was going well. So I thought.
Hardworking guy. Fantastic.
Right. Loved him. It was going well. He was learning. We were doing the training. Get back. And I don't even know if I was back a week.
I think we were.
Okay. Now, I will say, anytime you're bringing in new management, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, you got people that have been there, and then you have people that are coming in. And a lot of times when you have a lot of change with people and employees, you can expect a little turbulence.
Mm-hmm,
just a little bit, people getting used to people or trying to figure out who everybody is and kind of that thing going on. But so I expected that, but apparently there was more turbulence than
than you were aware of.
Than I was aware of.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. And I go in for a shift, a morning shift. And my GM is supposed to meet me there because when I get back, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go full throttle with you. I'm going to kind of double down on more training so that you can really feel comfortable and you can kind of do well. And I get a text message in the morning, hey, I have an internet person coming. I'm not going to be there at 12. I'll be there at 1. I'm like, no problem. Because I'm easy going.
Easy
peasy.
Peasy.
I'm here. It's going well. Nothing, I got somebody else there. Not a problem. Well, 1 o'clock rolls around. He doesn't show up. Now, he did tell me in the message, hey, there's something also I need to talk to you about. I was like, oh, okay. So I knew, okay, maybe there's something more. But 1 o'clock rolls around, don't hear from anybody. 1:30 rolls around, I give a text message. Didn't hear. And I figured, hey, he knows I'll be here at 2. Until 2. Maybe I'll see him at 2. Well, 2 o'clock rolls around. Nobody. 2:30 rolls around. Now I'm getting nervous because guess what? I got kids I need to pick up from school at 2:55. And that's where the conundrum comes in.
This is the other side of being an entrepreneur or a business owner.
Correct.
And that's really what we're getting into today. So
no call,
keep it spinning.
No show. I had to close the store.
And this is your general manager. This is the guy who's supposed to be running our store.
In the middle of the day.
Shabba dabba do. So, this is kind of really the topic that we want to talk about.
Did I mention, though, that this is a very low time, too? Meaning we need sales. I didn't mention that.
We need you. However many viewers we got, however many listeners we got, we need you to dial into Morristown and Clean Juice Morristown. So this is kind of really the topic we wanted to get into. For us, it's been almost 3 full years being entrepreneurs, business owners. Within that, we've opened a single unit franchise in Morristown, launched Catch the Moment podcast. I do broadcasting as well as we launch the Catch Camp. So within 3 years, we have a lot of different moving pieces, but you still have a family, right? And so talk to me about for you, because I want to hear your perspective. What do you find to be the most difficult? I know that you're a driver. I mean, you're going to put your head down, but internally, what's happening in these moments?
Well, I think I've said this before, which is I love consistency.
Mm.
And I think for me, that's the hardest part of entrepreneurship. It's all of the moving pieces, and that's hard. So even with the children, I want to be home in the evening because I still am a mother. I still need to be able to help them with school, with their nightly routine, that type of thing. So that becomes the difficult part. It's kind of like having balls and juggling and trying not to drop one.
Absolutely. It's kind of like juggling the balls.
It's kind of like a circus.
But in the middle of juggling, you actually have to grab something.
Everyone's laughing at me.
Yeah, so that's kind of what it's actually been like for the Tyree Nation in the midst of it. And I felt like it was just a good space to talk about it now because we've experienced some tremendous victories, meaning as far as things actually getting done. Sometimes we don't often talk about the train wreck behind, we call it the back of office, right? Let's talk about, let's say, what we've learned and maybe in light of all the moving pieces, what has been your piece in the midst of chaos, right? You talk about order and chaos. You're a woman of great order. Just so you know, husbands, right? And I'll speak to the husbands. I'm fully responsible for this. I have this great grandeur vision of while I'm working full time in the front office, launching a single unit franchise. Let my family, we homeschool. We're going to get our kids some experience as business owners, teach them hard work ethic, great values and ideals. My wife, you'll be able to run this while I'm, kind of paving the way for us for a new chapter in life. Did it go that way? Far from it. And it kind of sucks because from my vantage point, I felt like my wife is swimming in the ocean and I'm with her too, but in relation to Clean Juice especially, she really is the driver. I mean, hopefully you're clapping in the background with me in my heart. So but we definitely need like not even support. This woman is just super dynamic, and of course I'm helping, and we're getting life done together with our kids and our family. But so how have you found some measure of consistency? Because I know it's been a journey for you and us, but especially on this entrepreneur side, what has been the most difficult? You said the consistency, but right. As far as from the moment, of the inception of it, but now this past year has been really like a different kind of challenge.
Like accepting the reality of what it is and kind of, hey, if we're going up, go up. If we're going down, go down. I think it's if you just stop striving against it, you'll be better.
Okay,
in that way,
So in relation to basically having a pulse on what the experience is, yes. Not trying to resist, fight, and strive against, but yet maintain the course, right? So you're talking about keeping a vision,
yep.
but not being inconsistent.
Correct.
Okay.
So like even with, let's take hey, he leaves and that leaves me with the reality of having to literally open and close at some time, because we're also trying to hire at the same time. So we're actually in the middle of a hiring crisis.
That's right.
Because people are people are non-committal, honestly.
That's true.
I mean, that's been the experience. But having, just kind of, hey, if today just last week, unfortunately, it was kind of like, I can't open the store. Why? Because I literally don't have enough people.
Don't have enough people to open the store.
So as opposed to me toiling with that and and just getting upset about it and all of the emotions that go with it, it's kind of like, hey, this is what has to be done, and somehow we're going to have to make it up somewhere.
Hey guys, looking for an edge in sports betting? Our sponsor, betting.us, has got you covered. Get expert analysis, betting tips, and up-to-date odds all in one place. Bet smarter with betting.us, the ultimate sports betting destination. Excellent. So actually coming to terms with our reality,
yes,
but charting a path forward, right? Yes. Like meaning, like I think, I think we've heard this in different instances. Like there's losses in life, but obviously losses can turn to lessons, right, man? Yes. So meaning a loss in the moment doesn't mean you're a loser in life. A loss in the moment means what's to be learned here to either avoid this and how do we actually overcome this. Entrepreneurship and business ownership teaches you at a totally different level. And I think where people get either worn is dealing with this and one's capacity to endure and overcome it.
You have me thinking, because I realized too, and obviously this always causes you to reflect too,
sure,
on your leadership and kind of how you're doing things and, how you're deciding who comes on board, who doesn't. But one of the things too I recognize too is that during, just over the last almost 3 years is like, I don't really enjoy training.
We're getting vulnerable now.
Like I don't really enjoy training. So sometimes that could be a cause of the inconsistency within.
Yep.
Is because if something isn't done properly on the front end, it's like with your kids.
Sure.
Right? You're not going to see what you want to see. You're just going to lead to more frustration. But not just for you, but also for the people.
Sure.
That are there as well. So that's something that I made a decision about, like, hey, I'm going to have to put in that time. I'm going to have to do the training so that, number one, the people are equipped.
Yes.
And they feel confident.
Excellent.
About the process.
Excellent.
And they're not left bewildered in an instance and stuff like that. So
there's so many
growth.
Dynamics that go into either having a successful team, business, or organization, and it always starts with the leader, right? The pulse of the environment that you create, and people having a sense of worth and value, right? Like at the end of the day, people are choosing where they want to be, right? And of course, there has to be a value proposition, typically with business, like money. But ultimately, then it's like they want to feel like they're being invested in. That's probably the hardest part about something like food business, retail. there's so many different factors that have to be considered, not just the product that you're serving to your customers. Man, how am I actually investing in these employees so that they actually, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges of launching a business in a COVID environment. For us, it's not just the task of running a clean juice, is we have 7 children and a lot of other worthwhile commitments, namely to one another, like namely to a peace of mind and a quality of life, right? So, and I think these are the hardest decisions that you make as a business owner, because you have to always ponder whether this is worth it. Like, man, is this really, 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 really worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Right.
Right. So, I think this is just really number one. Just off this short conversation, consistency, order, training. Right.
Training, yes.
The training is key. Meaning, obviously, I always have my athletic parallels. We all get it. If you're going to expect a premium performance, you have to invest into the people, right?
Yep.
And that begins to set the culture. And when people feel like you are invested in them, then you get that turnaround. So it doesn't matter whether you're in food industry or whether you're working at Apple, right? It's the same things. And so, whatever your goals, aspirations are. But we wanted to talk about the other side of entrepreneurship, because my wife, as well as myself, we go to Arizona around the Super Bowl. I'm on Radio Row, but in the middle of that, you had something else that was unfortunate. We're talking about life, right?
That's right.
So this is, I wanted to breach into it, because DT3 is truth, transparency, and transformation. And I never want to try to portray something that's not really authentic. Like, real life is happening.
Yes.
So right after the catch camp.
Literally. I mean, we were done Sunday. We had a plan to rest Monday.
That was the plan. It was like
we said Monday we're not going to do anything. It's going to help us, just because we had been full speed for 3 months.
Yep.
And that evening we get the call that my stepfather passes away. And it's like, oh man, like I'm 6 hours away from home. It was just devastating, honestly.
Extremely devastating.
It was devastating. So, hey, what do you have to do? Hope in God.
When after you've done all that you can, stand therefore.
Hope in the Lord. But, you kind of take a deep breath, and, breathing is good for you.
We have breathing experts today.
Breathing is good.
Yeah.
But I now travel back home to just be with my mom and just go through obviously the funeral arrangements and all that kind of stuff. And then bam, I mean, you still have a business. you still have children, and life is, every day is coming.
Every day.
Every day is coming. So
yeah, these will be topics I think we'll eventually kind of continue to break into, because that's, no one hits harder than life, right? No one hits harder than life, and we don't get a chance to determine when it happens. Ultimately, our response to the life, the adversities that come along with it, is really what determines who we are and what we have within us, and ultimately the strength of our relationships, right? That basically sustain us. And you tried testing and proving my love, Dove.
Yes.
And
resolve. We say that word resolve.
It's a great word.
It is a good word.
It's a great word. Having to resolve.
Yeah. So you
continue.
You just have the resolve, and you're like, well, this is it. And it's not that.
And I don't want to make it sound gloomy, right? It's like, but it isn't. Like, this is the life that I'm committed to.
Correct.
This is the determination that I have, that I'm going to take this blow, the emotional parts of it as well, embrace it, cry, grieve, but also overcome and continue.
Well, I had an interview today. I had somebody come in today. That was pretty interesting.
How was it?
Interesting.
Interesting is always an interesting word.
They say that you should, it's kind of like you walk into a room and everybody's saying, oh, what's the energy in the room, right? You kind of want to match that.
Yeah.
Right? So typically, even when you meet somebody, hey, how are you? And typically people respond in the way that you're responding
You're hopeful.
to them, right? So my interviewee walks in and I'm like, hi, nice to meet you, this, that, and next. And she kind of looked a little bit like surprised or like
taken back by you.
Taken back, but
by your friendliness.
But then at the same time, I could sense that there was something wasn't right. So I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm okay." But I could still tell that something wasn't okay. Like meaning, like, okay.
Sure.
But anyway, I said, "Okay, well, you want to still continue?" And like she seemed open to it, so we hung out. I said, Come to my office, which is right outside the bathroom. We'll clean you.
That's right.
So we sit, we chat or whatever. And then I realized, like, after she left, I said, wow. I was like, I wonder why, she seemed a little frazzled in some kind of way. But then I realized that her interview was for 3:00 and she walked in at 3:10.
There we go.
So I think that some of her hesitation was that she was late.
She's probably late.
Was late.
That's good.
So
well, at least you got to. Like, was it me? Did my breast ache? Like, did I offend?
I know.
Did I offend her?
Right.
Was that too much?
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that's too much in a relationship. I'm the overbearing
You're
one.
too much when you walk into Clean Juice.
That's terrible. The indictment. This is what I live up under. Okay? Constant judgment. I'm trying to over here dwell. I come in there, support.
You do. You support.
Try to be positive.
I need that, though.
And I'm just too much. Just being black, walking into the door.
Literally.
My wife's racist. My wife's racist. We'll talk about that on another episode, guys. I love her like she's perfect. And
I love it.
But like I said, we hit on a few things. Hopefully, much of that is helpful. We really wanted to just talk about the other side of, and that's just only one business entity, right? Like, you get into all of these different moving pieces that we have in life. And this is just to get life done, right? Like, right. So we are a couple that I would like to say that God has graced to do some dynamic things. We say get great done. We're determined to get great done every single day. Why? Because God has given us the power to do it. And so that's what we're determined to do.
That's right. And This is just a part of the journey, the process. And sometimes there's some pain points. That's
why we do here. This is what we do here on Catch the Moment. We want to tell the other side of the story so that you can be encouraged in some of your more challenging days. Right at the end of the day, is like we want to share that pain, some of these pain points, so that you can dig within the well of faith, hope, and perseverance, and find a way to take it from point A to point B. Listen, if you fell down, just get back up. I could promise you, we out here stumbling and bumbling. Every now and then we get hit with some hooks and we fall. Like we fall, we stumble. And ultimately that's kind of what the reflection of righteous man falls down, gets back up 7 times, gets back up. And that's what we need to be. We need to be people that are built to last. And that's what I think our marriage is built on. That's what I believe our life is built on. Our life is built on a firm foundation that is Christ the rock alone, so unashamed. And that's why we're going to continue to get great done. That's why true transparency and transformation is going to continue to lead the way. And that's why you can catch your next moment and find a way to overcome. Anything else, my love, dog? No. Hey, listen, that's what we got here for Catch the Moment. I want to thank you guys for continuing to tune in. Make sure y'all follow on the gram, follow the Catch Camp, follow Catch the Moment podcast. And hit the website, davidtyree85.com, for any opportunities, updates. We will continue to keep you inspired and moving. We'll check us soon.